we're going to talk about how to pick a design for your quilt when you're doing an edge to edge. I like to go off of the designs and the prints that are in the fabrics. I also like to go by the size of the different blocks that are in your quilt. So for example, this one has a rather big block and it's all over. It's not a distinct where's the block. So I picked this all over. This is called, I think, First Snow. If you notice, the blocks have kind of a wintry feel. There could be a flower, but to me they felt kind of like snowflakes. Especially this one, it feels very windy and blustery. So I picked First Snow. It has a very windy, curvy look with some, either these could be flowers or they could be snowflakes. So it works for both. I think it works really well with this quilt. And a dark thread. My mom loves dark threads to show. She likes her quilting to show. If you don't want the quilting to show as much, you pick a thread that will blend in with the fabrics more. So this is a nice dark purple. I think it did a beautiful job. This one has more distinct blocks, but we wanted an all over edge to edge design. And so you can see here, there's a big fun daisy. So the whole thing is just these big funky daisies. And that matches this funky daisy print. And because of the colors, I thought it was just kind of more of a wild quilt. It'd be fun to have these more wild daisies all over it. And I tried to just go off of how this is a medium-sized block. I think it's a 12-inch block, I think. And so we did some bigger flowers rather than really tiny ones. And it's also just according to your preference. If you like really tiny, tight stitching, or if you like bigger stitching, it will give your quilt a fluffier, softer feel if it's bigger. And if it's tighter, your quilt will be more stiff. This one has lots of little teeny tiny squares, and I wanted to mimic that. So this is, I believe, I'm trying to remember the name of it on my website. In my computer, it's called Hillbark, but I think I called it tiny, small wavy lines on my website. But it mimics the smallness, and it mimics the squares, and it also I picked the size of it to mimic the size of these squares. So it really gives it a feel of some individualized quilting when really it's edge to edge. Here is another example of a quilt that has beautiful fabrics, but they're very busy. So you really aren't going to see the quilting. So you don't want to waste your time on picking custom quilting on something like this because you spend a lot of money to not be seen. So this is an edge to edge quilt as well. And you probably can't even see the design, but it is, let's see if I can show you on the back. The back is busy too. You can't even see the back. So I picked, I think this is Feather Flower. And it's one of my most popular designs that people pick for flowery and girly quilts. It's very soft. It has lots of feathers in it. Can you see the curve of the feathers? A double feather. And it just really goes well. And it gives it a beautiful look that mimics the fabric, the busyness of the fabric and the softness of the fabric pattern. Here's another quilt that has lots of, they almost look like stars, but really they're not stars in it. If you look really, really closely, there's little triangles, but I felt like the block was like a star. So I did a overall star design. And because, yes, there's one large block there, but there's smaller blocks here, I felt like doing a star in between the two. So this size and smaller went, I think it really felt like it fit the quilt. And you could go tinier and smaller, but my mom did not want she doesn't like the tiny designs and the tiny quilting. She likes it to be a little bit bigger. So it really can be your preference, not just what looks good.